Welcome back to All Day Sports. I'm Tim.
I'm Dallas.
Carter.
I'm Nate.
Today we're going to start it off with Would You Rather. So we have Ryan Tannehill. I'm a Titans fan. I've been defending him. I don't think he's great, but I think he's better than better than they think he is. So we're going to start out. I've got a 14 quarterback list here. I'm going to start and say Ryan Tannehill and they'll let us know. So first off, Ryan Tannehill or Carson Wentz?
Carson Wentz.
Wentz was an MVP before he got hurt, so.
I agree with Wentz.
That was also
good in that
4
first
years
game.
ago.
Yeah, but and I think his if we're talking about his 2019 year with the Eagles, that was if you want, or even the 2020 year. But going off of how he looked week 1 and how he looked last year for the Colts, I don't think they should have traded him. I think he looked fine.
He did look good.
Yeah.
So I think he is.
I think the Commanders have given him a lot of confidence. You know what I mean?
He's got good weapons.
A good coach.
Very good coach.
Yeah, speaking on a confidence thing, I agree because back in Indy, they didn't really give him the chance to prove himself.
They didn't trust him.
They just gave Jonathan Taylor the ball, really.
And then as soon as they lost the game, it was all Carson Wentz's fault.
Yeah.
It wasn't anyone else's fault. It wasn't defense's fault. It was all Wentz.
And as of 1 week, he looks better than Matt Ryan by a long shot.
Yeah. Number 2, speak of the devil, Matt Ryan.
No.
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
So I have for all the quarterbacks I argue I have their stats from since Tannehill became a starter. 13. He has 3,000 more passing yards. Tannehill has 3 more passing touchdowns. Tannehill has 10 less interceptions.
Wow.
Tannehill has a 15 better QBR, and he has 4 rushing touchdowns, 332 rushing yards. Tannehill has 718 rushing touchdowns since 2019. So, and you have to look at their record. Matt Ryan's 18-31 since 2019. Ryan Tannehill's 31-14.
Yeah, I think there's also you need some context to this. The Falcons are a passing offense. I think we all knew that when he was there. The Titans are not a passing offense. They
still pass the ball.
Every team passes the ball.
But the Falcons are like almost 65-35%.
But Tannehill still has better stats and a better record.
Yeah, but that's 2019. That's when Tannehill had the best years of her career. You didn't go to Matt Ryan's best years.
That's 10 interceptions.
Prime Matt Ryan is way better.
I'm not saying.
Well, I'm just saying since 2019, this has been Tannehill's good years. We're talking about going into
now Matt Ryan's
this year.
37.
Yeah, so right now, I think we're not talking about prime years.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would say in the last 3 years, I think Matt Ryan is a better quarterback. We're talking about since he was a starter. I mean, the 10 interceptions is just a byproduct of throwing the ball more. Yeah.
10 picks, it's a big difference.
Didn't you say he had 3,000 more yards?
3,000 more yards and a 15 less QBR. So
He aired it out more.
I think it's a good debate, but
I thought I had attempts, but I didn't. I don't. I should have put attempts now because if it was like the same amount of attempts, then it'd be different. But 3, Mac Jones. So would you Tannehill or Mac Jones?
no.
I think it's really close.
I mean, it's really close.
I'm taking Mac Jones without the back injury. You know, I know he got hurt week 1. I don't think that's a fair comparison right now, but.
That wasn't necessary, but
I don't click and pin. I gotta throw it, or I'm gonna keep clicking.
I think Tannehill is better than Mac Jones just off of experience at this point. Just besides, I guess Tannehill's running.
I think
more or less.
I think Mac would be really good in that offense because he wouldn't be trying to run the ball.
I agree, but
I feel like Mac would make a little
if you look straight at their passing stats, it's so similar. 3,734 yards to 3,801 yards.
Who had more?
Mac. 22 touchdowns to 21 touchdowns. Mac had more. 13 picks to 14 picks.
I think the two upsides that Tannehill brings are his rushing ability.
But when you look at the
his
rushing
experience.
side,
That's where he clears.
It's 129 and 0 touchdowns with Mac, and 270 and 7 rushing touchdowns with Tannehill.
Hit 7 rushing touchdowns?
Yes, he's a very underrated rushing quarterback. It's
over the past 3 years?
No, last season.
Oh.
He has 18 rushing touchdowns over the last 3 years.
You said
Tannehill. I'm taking Tannehill.
You said 227 rushing yards, so most of that is just like goal line scrambles.
But it doesn't. It's a lot
That's
of.
still
it's
7 touchdowns.
Yeah,
it's still. A bunch of them are still their 25-yard him breaking tackles and scoring. It's still real rushing touchdowns. It's not him walking in from the 5-yard line like all the Rain Prescott's rushing touchdowns.
I'll believe you when I see the film.
I just think
I don't buy that.
You
25
really-
yards and breaking tackles.
You don't remember the 25-yard rushing touchdown against the Bills where he about tore his ACL?
Okay,
Where he
one.
flipped. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Now he wants me to bring up film. I can't just bring up stats. I got to bring up film too because he doesn't believe the stats.
I'm gonna add one more thing about Mac is that I think like if he had
Everything's
AJ Brown and
context.
Julio, he'd be tough. I think
Mac?
if he had Julio and AJ Brown, that's just like how I feel like AJ Brown and Julio look so much better.
But that's
teams.
but
They have
we're just
way better
going off.
quarterbacks.
We're just looking at last season's stats. Their passing stats are super similar, and for most of the season he just had AJ. So I think it's pretty close.
It's close.
Well,
It's
Mac
just-
would definitely be better in our offense. I'm not
He would.
saying that, but it's really close.
It is really close.
So 4, we have Tua.
I don't think he's better.
I think Tua's better.
Who am I taking? I'm taking Tua in the long run, obviously, because he's
But for
what,
one,
24.
so for the rest of them, because I have some older quarterbacks, we'll go 1 season.
Like one right now.
I think Tua.
So if you have to win a game this week, are you taking Tua or 10?
Tua.
I'm taking Tua.
Tua's gonna have a better year.
I feel like-
I'm taking Tannehill to win one game. I'm taking Tannehill.
Ooh, that's
I
tough.
really do like Tua.
Tim
and
is
I didn't-
changing my mind, man.
I
I
haven't
didn't
put
look
any,
at it like
I
this.
haven't put any stats down for Tua, but
They weren't
watching
good
him,
last
he's
year.
very accurate. He can move the ball when he runs, but he has some stuff that scares me.
Yeah.
On third down, he's reading 6 receivers and going back and pump faking and then throwing bad balls, or he's underthrowing Tua. Or,
Here's my thing. If it's a
Purdy.
tie game and we need to go down and score, I trust Ryan Tannehill more to not make a mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm probably the biggest Ryan Tannehill hater in this room, but he's kind of changed my mind. I've been preying on Tannehill's downfall for quite a bit now.
I think I'm still taking Tua. I feel like he was the same tank for Tua. There was a reason people.
Because he was winning in Alabama, he hasn't done anything when he's been since
He hasn't done
been in the NFL.
anything special in my
to
opinion.
make me go. Oh, he's a good
But
quarterback.
his stats were bad last year.
Taking over Justin Herbert. I know Herbert wasn't supposed to be
Great,
this good, but
Yeah.
So,
hindsight's 2020.
well,
Knowing how
Herbert
he
was
played-
a project, but he turned out to just be
Knowing
great
how
right
he's
away.
played, I don't think he's worth the top 5 pick.
No.
No.
Well, no. Well, no.
That's
Yeah.
where
Well, okay, here's this one. Would you take Tua or Mac Jones?
Probably Tua.
I'm taking the.
I
I'm gonna take.
I hate on Mac like they hate on Tannehill. I don't like Mac Jones.
I'm gonna take Tua because I think he's more talented than. Mac.
That's my.
I think Mac Jones has a higher floor, but not a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
exactly.
But Tua has a lower floor by far.
yeah, he
Yeah.
could just be bad the whole.
And that, yeah, they played the Patriots. They have a good defense, but we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I want to say one thing. In 3 years, who are you going to take, Jalen Hurts or Tua?
Oh, Hurts.
Jalen Hurts. That's no questions
Yeah,
asked.
Hurts for sure. I'd take Hurts right now.
Yeah.
Well, I would take Hurts right now.
I would take Hurts right now over everybody on this list.
Yes.
But I think Tua has.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think he has more
Yeah.
upside personally than Hurts.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think so.
Tua?
Hurts, have you seen Hurts run the ball? And when he throws it right.
Hurts is a top 3 rushing quarterback, and then he's got better at passing every year. He's probably just as good of a passer.
He
as
looks
Tua.
really good against the
I think
he's probably not as good of a passer, but he's a very.
he's going to turn into a Lamar Jackson replica.
Yes.
But I think he could be a better rusher of the football than Lamar Jackson.
He's really good running the ball.
I'm
If
just
you
saying,
watch him run,
I
he's
wouldn't be
special.
surprised that if in 3 years from now we would be seeing Tua in the Pro Bowl instead of Jalen Hurts. Is what I'm saying.
I
think
would
so.
be.
You'll
I
never
would.
I
wouldn't be
Two in the Pro
surprised.
Bowl?
Mitch Trubisky made a Pro Bowl.
There's too many good AFC quarterbacks for. Like,
Yeah,
it's-
exactly.
You got Mahomes,
I don't-
That's a fair point.
Lamar,
Yeah.
Carr even.
Yeah,
Yes,
Derek Carr.
there's so many
Broncos
good-
country.
Mahomes.
Yeah, he didn't look good.
I think Tyreek Hill and
Russell
Darren
Wilson wasn't
Waddle
that
are gonna
bad.
make
He
him
didn't
look
look
really
great,
good.
though.
He still flew like
But all right,
350
next
yards, but
we'll get there.
okay.
All right, number 5, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
I think
I agree with
played
this
great.
one. I've been a big Jameis supporter. I think he's really good. So this is a pretty mutual agreement. Jameis is really good. All right, 6, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker.
Ryan Tannehill.
I'm taking Tannehill.
People hate
So,
on him way too
he's
much,
good.
man.
So his
He's a good
record
quarterback.
as a starter since 2019 is 23-23. Tannehill again is 31-14. So he has.
But
I'm
That's
getting
so
there.
subjective.
He has a. You gonna say his roster's better? No.
Tannehill's before for the first 2 years of Baker's career.
The Browns roster and the Titans. This is the best comparison you can take. They're almost identical teams.
Who is Baker throwing to?
But Baker's on the Panthers.
Well, no, we're not.
Well,
No. This is
who
this
is
last
Ba-
3 years too.
Who is Baker throwing to?
Yeah.
Tell me that.
He didn't have AJ Brown.
Like-
He had Odell for
Yeah,
that.
He had
Austin
Odell,
Hooper?
Jarvis Landry,
Well,
Donovan
that was-
Peoples-Jones. He's had good receivers.
Peoples Jones wasn't as good as he is now.
Jarvis Landry was their best receiver for
And he's a
5
solid
years.
receiver. He's always had good.
He's a solid number 3.
Yeah, his rookie year, His rookie year, his receivers were bad, but he's had good receivers.
But
like,
his
I feel
rookie
like
year was his best
Baker
year.
kind of changed the Browns, though. He let them at least to start winning.
When they beat the Steelers in the playoffs, 2020 was his best year.
Oh, okay.
I think part of the reason why Odell didn't work in that offense is the way
But-
Stefanski did.
Okay,
set
well,
it up
let's
for it.
let me.
He's also a
Listen,
rookie.
so the QBRs are 80. Baker says 87 QBR. Tannehill's is 102. Baker's thrown 42 INTs. Tannehill's thrown 27. That's the big difference. You can't.
Still
that
subjective.
is,
You can't argue
Best
that.
years
you cannot argue that. That is
You're right.
that is a rushing offense.
That is.
That is a
You're
rushing offense. So
Yeah, he's thrown
and
some
he's thrown 65 touchdowns to Tannehill's 75. He has 6 rushing touchdowns to Tannehill's 18. Or excuse me, that's Jared Goff. He has 4 rushing touchdowns to Tannehill's 18 and half the yards.
I think Tannehill's better.
Right, I
believe in Baker, I
I
guess.
believe in Baker. I like Baker, but I'm taking Tannehill in this.
I've
situation.
always liked
I'm
Baker
gonna
as
change
a
my mind.
guy
I'm gonna go
too.
Tannehill. Honestly, I think after hearing that, I didn't know Baker's stats were that bad. Like I'm serious.
I think the question with Baker is how much more time is he going to get?
I have the record for all of them, and it is subjectable for a lot of them, but for Baker, I didn't include any week 1 stats.
Baker's my sleeper for comeback player of the year.
Yep, Saquon after Sunday. But number 7, Jared Goff.
I think Goff is better.
He's had so much more playoff success, and you're right. We had a great roster, but I think
He went to a Super Bowl, but the wins are about the same.
I think he's better. I really think he's
This
better.
is a good question.
But-
I think they're really similar.
They are.
So, Jared Goff is 21, 23, and 1. It does have one of his horrible
Lions
Lions
year.
year, so
Yeah.
that is something you can take him. He has 1,000 more passing yards. He has 4 less touchdowns and 10 more picks. He has 6 rushing touchdowns and 228 yards and 89 QBR. So I've said Tannehill's before. He has 18 rushing touchdowns and 102 QBR.
I think it's really similar, especially in that 2018 year, because Gurley and
And he was very good. 2018.
Gurley and Henry were like neck and neck.
Yeah.
So Gurley for that.
I'm gonna take Tannehill here, but this is actually one
It's
that's pretty
close.
close.
Yeah.
But we have. But Goff isn't going to lose the Lions a game. I don't think he is.
It's arguably that he lost that Eagles game on Sunday, but
I mean,
pick
they
was
should be
pretty
giving
bad.
up 35, 40 some points.
yeah, I know,
So
but
I think that's on the defense.
I don't know, man. I think
it
you
is.
can go.
It is. It's a team sport.
Yeah.
So
I think
it
it's a
is.
coin flip.
Yeah.
That one's pretty close, but again, like I'm gonna take Tannehill.
I'm gonna
I'm gonna
stick
take
with Goff.
Tannehill's rushing ability. That's
I
kind of
think Goff's a little bit better passer.
I think it's really close.
I
I'm
think
going to take Goff by
me too.
by-
Just like a hair.
I won't disagree with this one.
I could go either way.
Yeah,
I think
So,
Jared Goff is underrated at this point.
I think if you switch their positions, it's almost the same.
Yeah.
excluding rushing ability.
It's
just
true, it's
Tannehill's
like-
obviously the better rusher, but
I think
that's
Jared
gonna
I
be-
think Goff would be a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
My question is can we see Tannehill succeed in an offense where he has to throw more? Because that's the thing.
You're going to see that this season.
okay.
You're going to see that this season. Yes, because watching the game on Sunday, we can't hand Derrick Henry the ball
They just
on
didn't-
first down.
They didn't hand
He was
Derrick
9 for 10 for 2 touchdowns on first down, and he kept handing Derrick Henry the ball in the second half, and Derrick Henry was losing yards, and that's why we're put in the position and lost because our defense couldn't step.
You guys kind of
You'll see. I'm letting you guys know that Tannehill's going to be a good passer. This year.
Okay, is Tannehill having the same?
What do you think his touchdowns are going to be? Is what I'm saying.
I think he's going to be between 25 and 35.
35?
Isn't that what he usually is? What did he have last
Around
year?
there.
32?
21.
21?
He had 35 in his really good year.
Oh, okay.
So I just don't see him throwing for 35.
What I'm
the
saying,
lack of weapons they have.
Can Tannehill succeed?
if he threw the 35 touchdowns, I'd kiss you on the lips, man. That'd be
Mark
awesome.
those words.
That's like I just don't see that happening.
Can
That's
Tannehill,
why I said 25 to 35, somewhere in that
I can see
area.
him 25.
Yeah.
Honestly.
can Tannehill succeed with a running back like DeAndre Swift or Kareem Hunt?
Yes.
Is what I'm saying.
I think Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's a good running back.
I know a receiving
DeAndre
back.
Swift is a good running
A
back.
receiving back.
A receiving back.
We have receiving backs. Both of his passing touchdowns are receiving backs.
Right.
Okay,
Hillard.
Dontrell Hillard isn't your number one back though.
He's still. So he can't throw checkdowns to a running back. What?
No, I'm saying if his main running
I think
back
Ryan
is
Tannehill would be better with a
receiving back.
McCaffrey. A healthy
Because
McCaffrey.
what happens when Tannehill is drops back in the pocket and he gets sacked? He has no one to throw the ball to because Derrick Henry has bricks for hands.
Yeah. So
Tannehill would be better with the receiving back.
okay, but when he drops
If
back,
you give him a McCaffrey, a guy who's a great rusher and can catch the ball, it's going to be what he has now and more.
okay, here, this is what I'm saying. So when he drops back, the 7 guys in the box are expecting a run, 80% of the time, 75% of the time, unless it's 3rd and 15, is what I'm saying. So they're being conscious of the run. But if you have a guy like DeAndre Swift, they're expecting a pass on 3rd down.
They always expect a pass on 3rd down. That's a passing down.
Well, I don't know.
I get what you're saying, that when the Titans are on the field on offense, the box is loaded.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Usually, looking at the Giants game, it wasn't loaded nearly as much as it usually is.
Okay.
So we'll see.
Okay.
That's a very close one, but we'll go to 8. Would you rather Tannehill or Marcus Mariota?
Tannehill.
I love Mariota.
He actually played well.
Mariota looked very good. He did. All right, number 9. That was a pretty easy one. But number 9, we have Geno Smith.
Tannehill. That's not close, man.
I will say Geno did play good at the end of last
Geno
season.
looked good. He looked good. But so the next 2 we have guys that were rookies last year, so we're going off of one season, so we'll it's kind of an iffy one there. But we have Justin Fields at 10.
Justin Soldier Fields.
All right, again, we're gonna go. You have to win this week's game. Who's your quarterback?
In the Titans offense? Or
Sure.
Well,
I'm
taking
taking Justin Fields to win me a game.
Me too.
I think he has the better
I
arm
believe in
talent.
Justin Fields.
I think he's a better
So-
runner.
Oh, by far, yeah.
So last season, Fields had 1,800 passing yards, 7 touchdowns to 10 picks.
He was horrible.
6-11.
He was horrible last year.
that team was
420. You can arguably that's where it's worse this year, but
think
420
he'll
rushing
elevate
yards,
this
but only 2 rushing touchdowns.
But he didn't play that much. So
I'm not
Andy
going
Dalton
to
played a
argue
lot.
that you would take Fields because he had his upside. He has a huge ceiling.
well, I think
you know,
Fields is going to be great this
He's
year.
definitely one of those guys that could go out and be a very, very good quarterback. So I won't disagree with Fields. I would take Tannehill, me personally, but that's just because he's
No, that's
young.
fine.
I can't trust Fields in the
That's
passing
fine.
game really.
That's
So
actually fine.
I
That's
think.
and if we're even judging it off of week 1, you can't really judge anything off of that game. I'm not going to judge the Niners or the Bears off of that week 1 game. It was pouring.
It's a monsoon.
It was a monsoon. Yeah. So
I think the difference between Justin Fields and Tannehill is I would have obviously taken Tannehill in weeks 18 of last year, but week 1 after this offseason progress, I'm taking Justin Fields just because.
What did Justin Fields do? Are you
don't know
judging
yet.
it? Oh, okay. I thought you were judging it off of week 1.
I'm saying
Oh,
with the jump that I'm
going off of his preseason, he does look better, but how much better is he? That's how you know.
Yeah,
I think he still looks pretty good for a monsoon.
I'll take Fields. I like Fields.
The one touchdown was wide open, but the other one was a nice touchdown to St. Brown. And I think
It was kind of wide open too, but
it was not like wide open like the other one.
was
That's what I'm saying.
5 yards of roll open. That's wide open.
5
in the
yards?
NFL. It was pretty open.
He made like one bad pass in the first half where he threw that pick.
But again, it's pouring.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. I think he played pretty well for how bad the weather was.
Yes.
Yeah.
What about Mills?
So 11, we have Davis
They're
Mills.
similar. They're very similar.
I'm gonna take Tannehill just because of the rushing.
Tannehill again rushing. So last year, as a starter, Davis Mills was 2-11, but that team was bad. But
can't run it all,
He had
though.
2,600 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 picks, and 44 rushing yards to 0. So
He can't
to
run
0
it all.
touchdowns. So I think passing they're very, very similar, but again the rushing ability there is.
I think that just puts Tannehill over the edge. But I think
Yeah.
Davis Mills still has upside. I think he'll be a better passer if he can keep improving.
Yeah.
And 12, this is kind of an interesting one. Mitch Trubisky.
No. Ryan Tannehill's better. I'm not a Mitch guy. I don't-
So Mitch Trubisky, his stats. So I didn't include his Bills year. This is 2 seasons for Mitch Trubisky. This is his last 2 starting years in Chicago. It's 14-10. This is 2 seasons, 5,100 yards, 33 touchdowns, 18 picks, 388 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. Over a 2-year span.
Yeah, Tannehill's better.
I'm taking Tannehill.
Yeah.
So, what about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tannehill. It's tough though because they play so similar. In my opinion.
I think Tannehill's a better passer. Mitch Trubisky's passing kind of scares me.
Take Tannehill by a little bit.
Yeah.
I think Tannehill has more confidence than Trubisky does.
Trubisky's confidence, I think, is something that hurts him.
Mm-hmm.
He'll have a wide open receiver downfield and he just won't throw it.
Yeah.
I think that can also be something that comes with playing more in the league and maybe taking a year to.
We'll see. I mean,
Sit behind Josh
He didn't look
Allen.
too. They won on Sunday. He didn't look too bad. So we'll go on to 13. Jacoby Brissett.
No.
Tannehill.
Tannehill.
Okay. 14. Daniel Jones.
They're like the same
It is
person.
Ryan Tannehill.
They're close.
I do not want to hear this.
They're so close. Like the way they play. I
So
think Jones is actually a better runner.
so Daniel Jones was drafted in 2019.
Let's hear the
10
stats.
yards. So
Again.
he's 12 and 25.
Tannehill's gonna have better stats. So
Yeah.
I don't even want to hear it.
He's not better, so let's hear his stats.
Look at the
8,000
Giants
yards.
Okay, what is Kenny Galladay's running like? He's not
But
even running
he's
routes
not a
out
bad
there.
receiver.
He's not good.
According
They
to
have
training camp,
They
he
had a
is.
good team, so
They had a good
they had a good roster on
Good
paper.
team. His running back last year was Devontae Booker.
Who even is that? I don't even know who that is.
I only know Devin Booker.
8,000 yards, 45 touchdowns, 29 picks, 1,000 rushing yards, and 5 touchdowns.
He's a better
Daniel
runner.
Jones.
He's a better runner.
Daniel
He
Jones.
is.
Daniel Jones is a better runner.
18 touchdowns to 5 rushing touchdowns.
What does it mean?
And he has 200 more rushing yards.
Okay, because they're always in 3rd and 20. Because
No.
their line sucks.
I mean,
Their
Daniel
running
Jones
back
would have had
sucks.
one more touchdown if he didn't fall over that one time.
Oh, yeah, so we'll give him 6, but
He's.
I'll take Daniel Jones.
I'm taking Daniel Jones in the Titans offense.
Yeah.
That's true. He
9
Yeah,
out
I
of
would-
10 days of
nuts.
the week.
Because
No.
I would take every other quarterback on this list over Daniel Jones.
That's
You took Jacoby
crazy.
Brissett over Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones is horrible.
He's not horrible.
He is horrible.
He's not
He is
horrible.
the worst quarterback in the league.
What?
Wow.
Starting?
Who's better than? Okay, that blows my mind.
Who's Daniel Jones better than? We could do that.
Daniel Jones is so
He's
bad.
better than Jacoby Brissett. He's better than Geno Smith. He's better than
I'm
Marcus
taking Geno
Mariota.
Smith. I'm taking Marcus Mariota.
No.
Daniel Jones is so bad.
He's not bad.
He is bad.
He's really not that bad.
He's bad.
Okay, is that a product of the system, though? Because he hasn't been surrounded by anything.
Tannehill
He's
would.
been surrounded by talent.
Tannehill.
I didn't put his fumble.
Tannehill.
No talent on that team.
Tannehill would
Saquon
struggle.
Barkley.
Saquon's kneeless.
Knees.
He's like.
Tannehill would struggle
I don't
more
even
in
have
the
his
Giants.
fumbles on
offense.
here.
yeah.
What has he got? 25 career fumbles?
Tannehill would be horrible in that Giants offense.
Tannehill would struggle more than Daniel Jones did in that offense.
No, he would not.
Yes, he would.
And Daniel Jones would be better than the Titans.
Saquon's
Oh, yes.
played like 6 games in the last
Because-
2 years.
Tannehill's a veteran. He's better off of play action by far
I don't
than
know
Daniel
about that.
Jones.
Anybody
He has a
can
running back.
be, anybody can be.
He has a running back. This running back just rushed for 160 yards and 2 touchdowns.
One game.
Yeah,
One
one
game.
game.
He's
What
been
about the
hurt
last-
since
He was the
Fox
offensive
game.
rookie of the year.
What about the last 3 years that you've
Oh,
been talking
he was
about in the
hurt.
stats?
He's been a fossil for 4 years, bro.
Well, he's been good when he's bad. When he's been healthy.
He hasn't been healthy.
He was there his rookie season.
His
Tim.
rookie season, that's not
Anybody
the stats you're
can
talking
anybody
about.
can run a play action if they have Derrick Henry in the
No, they
backfield.
can't.
That's what
Yes,
I'm
they
saying.
can.
No, they can't.
Yes,
Yes,
they
he
can.
can.
Yes.
Can even money Mitch Trubisky.
No, they can't.
Look, Jacoby Brissett did it with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
We're talking about how bad Jacoby
They
Brissett
didn't play
is.
together.
Yes, they did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
You talking about the year when Andrew Luck retired? When Jonathan Taylor was at Wisconsin?
What? No, his rookie year.
His rookie year, Carson Wentz was the quarterback.
What,
No,
was
it
he out
wasn't.
for a couple of games?
No, he wasn't. Oh, Philip Rivers.
Philip Rivers.
My
Yeah.
bad.
Well, I
Brissett
forgot
might
about
have
Philip
played him a little
Rivers.
bit.
My bad.
Yeah,
I forgot.
No,
about
I knew
Phillip
Jacoby
Rivers.
Brissett wasn't there. I forgot about Philip Rivers.
I got the Philip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett.
Philippe.
I keep forgetting 2019, the 2019 season.
But
All right, well, I think I think it's not close. I think
It's
Tannehill
not
better.
close?
But
Moving
they're
on.
the same
So we're
person.
gonna
Just
go-
Daniel Jones has more talent.
That's true. That's so true.
More talent, but he's going to
More
get
talent.
released this offseason.
Released?
They didn't accept his 5th-year option. They're not going to re-sign him. He's bad.
He can prove himself this year, man.
We'll see.
I mean,
All right,
he
so
led his team to a
2021
win against
NFL.
your team.
Against our great. You mean Saquon Barkley did that?
Okay,
He was not good.
He wasn't that bad.
he wasn't
He
bad.
got sacked 6 times in the first half.
Okay, that's the
And he
line.
fumbled twice.
That's like saying
the
Joe
line.
Burrow's a bust now because he sucks so many times. That's the same thing you're saying.
They're-
Okay, moving on.
Our
So we got
defense
our
and our kicker lost us that game.
And your offense wasn't that good.
I mean, if you score more
Offense
than
was
17
20
points, you win.
20 points against the Giants.
Yeah, and
Whoa.
Tannehill put us in the perfect position
How-
to kick a 35-yard field goal, and our kicker shanked it.
How
How's that
often?
Tannehill's
How
fault?
often do you win an NFL game when you score under 20 points? Like seriously?
Fine when you're us. Because we have a good defense.
Because you have 10-minute drives because you give Derrick Henry the ball 10 times.
He wins games.
Okay.
I mean, he obviously wins games, so
Yeah, Derrick Henry
Alright.
wins games, not Tannehill.
let's move on to
Just
our,
admitted to that.
no, I didn't.
You
Because
just
half
said-
of it,
you
it's
just said
10-minute
Derrick Henry.
drives. It's 10-minute drives
Of Derrick Henry.
So a 12-play drive when 6 of them are Derrick Henry and 6 of them are passes. That's not Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and 5 passes are play action on 3rd and 1.
That's not Derrick Henry.
It is Derrick Henry.
Oh my, Derrick Henry's in the backfield. It has nothing to do with Derrick
Because they
Henry.
think he's
Tannehill's
gonna
throwing the
run the
ball.
ball.
So you think people are going to bite on, what's his, Jeremy McNichols on a play action?
They
As
do.
they do on
They're
Derrick
going to
Henry?
bite out Derrick Henry because he's like one of the best running backs in the league, dog. Like, say rocket science.
Delusional Titans.
All right, moving on.
You said the Cowboys were going to go 14-2, and your quarterback broke his hand.
Yes,
Week 1.
and
Y'all suck.
I admitted I'm wrong.
You guys suck too, bro.
You guys are bad also.
We're not that bad.
You're pretty bad.
We're not as bad as
You
you.
lost to the Giants. That's pretty bad. If Daniel Jones is the worst quarterback in the league,
He is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. Oh, but his running back rushes for 2 touchdowns and 160 yards.
okay, so
he didn't do anything.
The team's built around Daniel Jones, but he beats you guys. But he's the worst quarterback in the league, so something's not.
Oh,
adding
my
up.
fault. He's not. Dak's worse.
Okay, maybe without his hand.
Yeah. All right. So week 1 review. Dude, you want to start?
Yeah. Okay. My first thing: don't overreact about Rodgers. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's gonna have another All-Pro season, whether he makes or not.
No.
Pro Bowl at least.
All pro? No.
Pro Bowl at least.
He might be a Pro Bowler.
He's gonna have 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, maybe have 2 more interceptions than he did last year.
I think he's going to struggle. I put trouble in paradise for Rodgers. I think he's going to struggle this
He's
year.
going to struggle. They're not going to win the division. They'll probably make the postseason.
They're not going to be.
It's going to take a few weeks. I don't think Rodgers is going to be the problem. I don't think it's Rodgers. I think it's Christian Watson dropping the wide open passes. Or his rookie receivers.
I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't.
I think his struggle.
They'll make the
Receivers struggling
playoffs.
against
The NFC
Vikings.
is pretty weak. So I'll have them make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's my first thing. Don't overreact about Rodgers. He sucked last year in week 1. He'll be fine.
Yeah, and our secondary is not even that
Just
good,
don't
so-
worry about it.
I was like,
I have overreactions and I have Rodgers. I have 3 overreactions, little things to mention. Rodgers is one of them. But my one is the bad teams played well. Pretty much everyone we thought was going to be bad played well. The Falcons looked good. The Texans looked good.
the Jags put up a
The
fight.
Giants looked good.
Jags look good.
They looked all right.
Well, they looked better than.
They almost
They
won
looked better.
16.
They looked better than they did last
almost
year.
beat
But
them.
we don't know if Washington is going to be really good or if they're just going to be a middle of the pack team. If they're really good, then they looked pretty good.
Well, Washington's
Trayvon Walker looked good for the
Washington's
Jags.
defense is supposedly a top 5 defense.
They on paper, but I don't know how they'll end up
It's-
playing. So
They sucked last year. So.
They did.
yeah, but they had some injuries and stuff too. It was coaching things. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, you're up, Timmy.
No, that was mine.
All right, I'm gonna go. I got Vikings W. I mean, I think a lot of people are rooting for us to pull off the upset, but we played well. Our defense played well. We're gonna be at least 10-7 this year, so I'm not worried about it. It was a great win.
Yeah.
Number 1, I got the Giants upset. That was a great win for them because I mean, I saw a lot of people say the Titans looked suspect before that game. They still look very suspect. Their defense played horrible. Their offense wasn't that good. Robert Woods is not that good. It's just not going to be a good year, and the Bills are going to spank them, so
That's a horrible take, but
let's see
okay.
about that. It's
So,
not a horrible take.
Okay, so
Our
for-
passing defense was amazing.
So-
Sacked him 6 times, but
So you-
our
how's that
rushing,
your
our rushing,
passing
our,
defense,
our
bro?
rushing defense was horrible. Yeah, and I agree with that. But our offense I think it looked fine.
So-
It wasn't. It was the play calling was kind of iffy. There were some weird play calls, but I think we're fine.
So this is my thing. I want to quick say, you think you guys won't get spanked if Derrick Henry plays like he did against the Giants?
No, I don't think we're going to get spanked by the Bills.
What?
If Derrick,
I think. But what do you consider getting spanked by the Bills? Like losing by 10
17
points?
points, 17
I think at worst we lose by 10.
at worst.
At worst we lose by 10.
What?
At
Lose by
worst.
10?
Close it. We'll talk about it next week.
Lose by 10.
I think.
Why
at
are we
worst-
talking about this next week?
Because the game hasn't happened yet. I said at worst we lose by 10.
Lose
That's
by
not
10.
horrible.
At worst?
At worst we lose by 10.
What?
How? He just beat the
And they say that
Rams
we-
by 20.
Well, yeah. At worst, they beat the Rams by 20, but it was.
So at worst, you guys are losing by 10. If
yes,
at
that
their
is,
worst, they lost
at
by
worst
20.
we lose by 10.
So you're
Move
saying
on.
you're way better than the Rams?
No,
That's kind of what you're saying.
just because I don't think that it's going to be. There's going to be enough offensive, like he said, we're to have 10-minute drives. I don't think we're going to lose by a ton.
No, because your guys' offense is going to get shut down, and I'm sure Josh Allen will throw for at least 3 touchdowns.
Okay, so for my number 1, I have that the Chiefs are legit. They,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they didn't skip a beat without
No.
Tyreek Hill. I think they look. Mahomes looked better without
Well,
Tyreek
he's,
Hill.
like, he's learning to spread the
Spread the
ball.
ball, yeah.
Oh, he just
He didn't even like target Kelsey a whole lot. Like he was looking for
Kelsey ended
everybody.
up with
Juju,
100 yards and
Like a touchdown.
Yeah.
who's
So.
the other guy?
7
You got
receptions.
Juju, and who's the other guy? What's his name?
MVS.
He's good.
MVS
I
didn't
mean,
look too good though.
I think the Packers should at least kept him or Devontae. They need to keep one of their veteran guys, and they didn't. So that was.
we didn't
And
forget that
that
Alan Lazar
rookie-
was out for the Packers game too. So I think that
Yeah.
when he comes back, he'll help.
That rookie running back looked good for the Chiefs.
Yep, he did too. Clyde Edwards-Helaire actually looked good too.
I thought
Was
So,
it like
Carolina,
Isaac,
is that-
Isaac Pacheco? Is that his name?
Something like that.
Pacquiao?
something like that.
And
Number
also-
10. Everyone, we all thought it was Tyreek Hill. I was confused.
Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill at
he
running
looks
back.
like Tyreek Hill with dreads. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny. Same helmet and everything. Is it okay if I go last for my last
Yeah,
one?
well, I did, for number 2, I just have overreactions. One, I have Joe Burrow. He's fine. I mean, it was kind. I don't know. I was looking at it. It's kind of weird that he would throw that many picks. But a few of them were just like kind of. He threw up. 2 of them were throw up balls on 3rd down, and the corner made a good play. He made a good play on it. But I think he'll be okay. He still put him in the position to win the game, so I think he's fine. I had a few people say good thing that he's kind of like Brett Favre. So we'll see. Trey Lance, I think he's fine. It was boring, so I'm
Yeah.
not worried about him yet. So
We'll see.
that's
What do they
it.
play next week?
I have no idea.
No clue.
I forgot.
I think it's
Wait.
somebody better. It might be the Rams. No, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
don't
I
play
got. I think the Colts losing, like Colts tying, was. I think it's an overreaction. Everyone's really clowning them, but I think they're still going to be
I don't
fine.
think the Colts were that bad. I think it was.
Their defense
I
is
think
so
it was
good.
like a rusty game from Matt Ryan. His first game in offense.
Yeah.
I think the Texans just played well, really.
They did. Their defense looked very good.
Davis Mills played pretty fine. 2 touchdowns.
Davis Mills, like we said before, he's going to do what he's not going to win you a game. He's not going to lose you a game.
He's
He
a
did what he had to do.
manager. All right, so moving on, we're gonna do Hall of Fame or not.
Did you do your second
one.
I did. I remember I did the Chiefs earlier. Yeah, you got to
Oh,
do
yeah.
yours. My bad.
So, hear me out. Nothing ever comes good after hear me out. But the NFC North could be the best division in football.
Maybe the NFC.
I think they could definitely be the best in the NFC.
No.
So
The
since
Lions
my
look,
team's
the
NFC,
Lions
The
look pretty
Lions
good.
are-
The Bears are still
I think
bad.
Justin Fields is going to leave.
The Lions are an above 500 team. The Packers and Vikings are both a 10-11 win team at, not at worst, but
like yeah.
I think it's guaranteed. And then the Bears are going to play in games all year. They're going to be
Yeah.
in games.
I think Justin Fields is going to be like Deshaun.
I'm not going to judge anything with the Bears off of week 1 because, again, I don't know how to feel about the weather because
Yeah.
just the weather could help Justin Fields or it could have held him back and he could be amazing. We really don't know. So
I think
I think Justin Fields is going to have a Lamar Jackson type jump, but it's not going to be noticed as much because they're not going to win as much.
I don't think he'll throw for 36 touchdowns.
Maybe not 36, but maybe in that 28 to 30
Yeah,
range.
I think he's
But
going to
yeah.
like steal a game or two. I think that's a good take. I would say just that'd be like best division in the NFC.
I still don't know if I take him over the West or the AFC West.
I don't think you guys. I don't think you guys will end up. The NFC West will end up coming around.
I wouldn't be
So,
surprised
yeah.
if they beat a team like
even
the
if-
Bucks or something.
Even if they're going off
honestly.
off of week 1 because like the Seahawks didn't look too bad.
No.
So and that's the only bad team in that division.
Yeah.
Realistically, well, the Cardinals lost, but
They'll be
it's against the
fine.
Chiefs, and
Yeah.
that was their first game.
The Chiefs.
Their
So
best receiver on the field was what? AJ
Marquise
Green,
Brown.
Or, yeah,
Marquise
Marquise.
Brown,
But besides Marquise Brown, did they? I think what AJ Green and run that more Raoul.
Yep.
So they didn't. Have
AJ
Green
Green
was out.
played.
no, he didn't.
He did. He was on the field.
Yeah,
I think he did
With no
play.
pads on.
Are you sure?
On the
I
sideline.
swear he didn't play.
I thought he was
I watched
out with
the
a
game.
hamstring or
I could-
something.
'cause there was like-
he might have been.
There's like a
on it.
halftime stat that like
Even
Zach Ertz and him
even
had, like, one
even
combined
if
target or
like
something that.
even if he was on the field, I don't think AJ Green's that good anymore.
He's washed. I mean, he used to be a stud.
He's
He
a
was
number
amazing in
3.
his prime.
We'll see. I think a close game next week could end up being us and the Raiders, the
Yeah,
Cardinals
that's a
and the
good game.
Raiders.
That could be a good game. Very good game.
That's a tough
Bounce
one.
back win. You know what I mean?
That's a tough one.
Bounce back game for Derek Carr.
Chandler Jones revenge game.
That's a good game.
Yeah, that'll be a really good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll go ahead and move. So our last topic today. We're gonna go Hall of Fame or not. We've got 10 names, and we're gonna say we have all their career stats, and we're gonna say Hall of Fame or not. So number 1, we have Derrick Henry. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer yet.
Not yet.
2 more years. Two more
more
years.
good years.
2 more consistent years of
Even 1,300 yards.
yeah.
1,300 yards, 8 to 15 touchdowns, somewhere in
I
that
think he
range.
can be 2 Pro Bowls and All Pro in a first team or an offensive player of the year. I mean. So he's 6,879 career rushing yards, 65 touchdown. His longest career run we all know is 99 yards. So I don't think he's bad.
Or if he has one more
let's
like
say 3
monster
touchdowns.
year.
It's just receiving touchdowns.
Or if he, I think if he
So
has
he
one
has
more
48
monster
touchdowns?
year,
No, he has 65.
I think
so
if-
you switch that. Yeah.
No, it's just over the first one. The columns are a little.
Okay, I was just so confused. I was like, what the heck?
if he has one more monster year with like 1,600 plus, I think he's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just his prime has been amazing.
Yeah.
I think he has to be really good this year.
I think he was a little rusty, honestly, so I think it'll be fun.
We'll see. And the play calling was kind of weird. They gave him like 15 carries in the first half, like his normal like workload kind of thing,
And
then
6 in the second.
and like none in the second half. So it
bad.
was just weird. Our offensive play calling was weird against the Giants. It was weird.
So I'll say two, he'll make it, I think. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah,
He'll be
just give
fine.
him another few years.
2, Antonio Brown.
Yes.
I think he's 100% a
Seven-time
Hall of
Pro Bowl.
Famer.
It's
but
just, it's just the off the field.
I don't think he's going to get in.
I don't either.
Yeah, so,
He is a Hall of Fame talent.
7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro, 1-time Offensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champ with the Bucks.
Yes.
928 career receptions for 12,291 yards, 13.2 yards a catch, 83 touchdowns. Like
He was the best receiver in the league by far for like 4 years.
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
good
Do you-
4 or 5 years.
But do you think it'll get to a point where maybe 10, 20 years down the line that people will forget about the off-field stuff?
No. Nobody's ever going to forget about that Bucks and Jets game.
Because I think people forget about the off-field stuff for other people.
Well, it's just like in baseball, like with players that are bad off the, like they have problems off the field that never get in the Hall of Fame, or T.O. or no, is T.O. there?
Chad.
No,
Ocho?
T.O.'s not all Hall of Famer
Terrell Owens?
Yeah.
Why not?
because off the field stuff.
Like what? I don't.
His beef with Donovan McNabb and some.
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
That's gonna hold him
yep,
back?
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Well,
he's.
Terrell Owens is like a top 10 receiver of all time. Or
Yeah, I'm
even
thinking
Top 5. I was
Yeah,
gonna say.
I was about to
I'm
say,
thinking
he's
of
not in
like
the Hall of Fame.
I'm thinking
so.
of like Ray Lewis and like Lawrence Taylor and guys like that just
Well, that was so Ray Lewis is one thing. It was one thing, and he was
pretty bad.
LT was quite a few.
And LT, he was inducted in the Hall of Fame. Well, it was just snorting lines before games.
Sort of like.
Prostitutes, all that stuff.
Yeah,
I was listening to a TikTok this
that's
morning
kind of.
about
But
it.
when was he inducted in the Hall of Fame? 1990.
Yeah.
So now I don't think today it would be different, but back then it was kind of they didn't really.
It's kind of like a free for all back then.
yeah. If it happened today, it would be harder to forget than back then.
Yeah. So 3 of Eli Manning. This is an interesting one.
Yes.
4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champ, 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
I'm looking at his interception to touchdown ratio. It's bad. That's what I'm looking at right now. It's
But
not good.
even when you look at it, you'd be surprised if you look at like Brady's on like 300 career interceptions.
Really?
I'm gonna go yes
What's
just
his
because he
336 or 366 touchdowns at 57,000 passing yards. That's pretty good.
Yes, because of the 2 Super Bowls. That's the
And
only.
the Super Bowl MVP.
I'm going yes just because he beat the best team in football.
That one of the he beat the
On paper, the best team ever.
Yeah.
I mean,
really.
not even on paper. I mean, they were 18-0 going into the Super Bowl.
That's crazy.
If they would have won that game, they would have been the best team ever
Yeah.
That's so freaking
by
crazy.
far. So
Yeah.
that's pretty impressive on your resume.
Oh, that's a tough one. Though.
It's tough. But I'm gonna.
I'll
go
say yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
what about Sherman?
Yes.
I think he
100%.
did. Yeah.
Sherman's kind of. I think it's
Yeah.
100%.
Some corners don't last a long time, but 5-time Pro Bowl.
He was
3-time
such a
All-Pro.
stud.
He was the
Guys
best
are
corner
ready.
in the league for what 5 years?
Yeah.
5,
So,
6
yeah,
years.
I didn't realize, but after Sherman left and he got hurt and he went to San Fran,
He was still good in Saffron.
he was an All-Pro.
Yeah.
Like 3 years after his prime.
Yeah, I think he was decent in Tampa. I don't think he was bad.
He wasn't like anything special last year, but he was solid. So
Yeah.
with 5, Matt Ryan.
Ooh, this one's.
Did he not? I thought he won more than 1 Super Bowl. I thought he
Matt
won
Ryan?
one with the Bucks. No, not
Sherman.
No,
Oh no, Sherman.
Sherman.
Just the one in the Seahawks. He was just with the Bucks last year.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. No, that's why I was confused.
Matt Ryan.
So 4-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All Pro, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. I think the only thing that's holding his resume back
Is a ring.
is a ring.
Because he has better.
If you didn't say like if we didn't have anything to do with Super Bowls on here, that's a Hall of Fame.
He has better stats than man.
He's the
way better
hall.
stats than man.
He's the Hall of Very Good.
Yeah.
He's not a Hall of Famer.
The one thing that's
If he's not a Hall of Famer, then Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer.
What?
Look at the stats.
That's not a bad team. Look at the. Okay, look at the.
He has
interceptions.
2 more
That's
passing
pretty good.
touchdowns and half the interceptions.
Yeah, that's. And look at the completion percentage.
He has better
That's-
completion percentage, 3,000 more
He's more
passing
yards.
yards.
That's yeah. His stats look
He has a
good.
5% better completion percentage.
That's tough though. Wow.
He has the Offensive Rookie of the Year and an MVP. Eli Manning doesn't have either of
And he's
those.
offensive.
But guess what? Eli Manning has that. Matt Ryan doesn't.
Super Bowl.
2 rings.
2 Super Bowl
Are you really
MVPs
value-
against the
difference?
greatest team ever.
Are you really value one?
Yeah, 1 against the greatest team ever.
Who's his other ring
Is that
against?
just 2 Super Bowl wins?
The Patriots.
They're both against the Patriots.
They were.
Yeah, that's why everybody says Eli Manning owns Tom Brady.
I didn't know they were.
If Eli Manning's I think Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, and if that makes Matt Ryan.
Matt Ryan would just have to win a ring.
I think,
If you'd have won against Tom Brady, then yeah, he'd be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
but I don't think that holds him back.
It does.
I do.
It does.
He's up 28-3.
The
Are
one,
you holding Super Bowls that high?
the one thing
Yeah.
that's
stats.
It's like the NBA. It's like how we hold Karl Malone. He never won a ring, so he just his.
Yeah.
the one thing that
Well,
sticks
and,
out to me
yeah.
though is the Pro Bowls.
But yeah,
Like,
it's just
so if you have 4 Pro Bowls and one offensive player of the year, 1 All Pro, so he was like the best quarterback for 1 year.
Yeah.
And
Pretty much.
he still couldn't lead his team to a Super Bowl with a very talented roster.
He led him to the Super Bowl, but not
to a Super Bowl loss.
Okay, what about Matt Stafford? I think he is.
I don't know his.
That one Pro Bowl is
Again,
stupid.
if Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer, Stafford's not a Hall of Famer.
That's
Matt Stafford is much better than
Stafford's played 3 less seasons, 4 less seasons.
08, Stafford was drafted 09. But
Yeah, Matt Ryan was drafted 2007, I thought, right?
no,
thought it was-
he's 08. The off
He's
year,
08.
he was 08. I know for a fact.
I think
Stafford was
Stafford's
09.
also been hurt more, also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stafford was hurt. in 02.
And Stafford, he never got
Stafford's
a
a
fair
much
chance.
better arm talent.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
I'm saying not yet.
10,000 less. I think if he can have like 5 really good years, like 5 like kind of like last year with the like, 3 or 4 of those with the Rams, I think he is.
He wins another Super Bowl. I think he's
I don't think he
guaranteed.
needs another Super Bowl. I think he has that 1 ring because it's like the Matt Ryan situation. If he has a ring on his resume right now, so yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Because he doesn't, he's not.
That's a tough one, though.
The thing for me about Stafford is I don't think he has that 3 or 4 years left in him. I think his arm is going to wear out.
Yeah, I think so too.
How old is he?
34,
33?
Yeah,
I think he's still got at least 3 years.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
2.
With his injury history, I don't see it.
We'll see. I mean, I think he's still.
Yeah.
He didn't.
He's still good.
No, we're so.
Okay, moving on. AJ Green. No.
It's just he didn't play at the great
like he
quarterback,
said,
though.
Hall of very good.
Yeah.
Like, he was so good.
Because he never really made the playoffs very much and stuff like that. So
Yeah, it's just
Right.
he was always that 3 to 5 receiver. He was never
Yeah.
he's like a top guy.
What about Marshawn Lynch? Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's another situation with the off-field stuff. But he hasn't done anything horrible, but he's got some stuff here and there. Like this, that recently the DUI kind of hurt him a little bit.
The thing about Marshawn Lynch though is his longevity is what gets me. Like he played an effective level for 6 years.
Yeah.
5, 6
and
years.
then
yeah.
he played another 5 seasons on top of
Well,
it. So-
my thing about it is
He's one of my favorite players growing up to watch.
Yeah,
I had to hate
he's
to
a
play him
stud.
though as a Cardinals fan.
He's awesome.
But 9 is an interesting one that me and Carter were talking about. Chris Johnson.
No.
He's not.
Hall of very good man.
But I literally the only thing it is like you can look at it here and compare it to Marshawn's stats. Marshawn has like 20 more touchdowns, but it really is. It comes down to longevity. He didn't play that long. He was his prime was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Like very good prime, but he fell off.
This last one's like
Philippe Rivers.
yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Almost 220 more touchdowns to picks. 63,000 yards.
Ooh, that's really good.
I think he's barely. Just by a
it's like-
smidge,
it's
he's a
like-
Hall of
I don't
Famer.
think he's a first ballot by
Yeah.
So it's like the Hall of Fame. They'll look at him and they'll go like, "You're just good enough to sneak in." Like
He'll make the Hall of Fame in like 20 years.
Yeah.
He'll get
Something
in
like
in
that.
that off year when like there's nobody good. Like
Yeah.
he just never
Like-
did anything. Like,
Me looking at it, I mean,
what was the farthest he ever made in the playoffs? Like seriously.
AFC Championship.
there just
What year?
wasn't any relevance.
I know
07?
he made it.
Probably was Tomlinson.
It was like 07.
Look at Matt Ryan, man. I mean, they're so similar. Same, pretty much same
Phil Rivers
completion
was another
percentage.
MVP.
I think Philip Rivers was better though.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt Ryan had the better peak.
No,
year,
I mean,
but-
he has a lot more touchdowns. That's my thing. Yeah, I'll give him a
He
Hall.
also played longer.
If again going back, if Eli Manning's a Hall of Famer, Philip Rivers is a Hall of Famer for sure.
These quarterbacks are tough to do.
Yeah.
They're like just on the verge.
I think you obviously value Super Bowls.
So Manning
more
has a
for
4%
quarterbacks
less
than other
completion
people.
percentage, 5,000 less passing yards, and almost 40 less touchdowns, and almost 40 more picks.
Matt Ryan.
No, Eli Manning.
But it's just
Looking at these other two quarterbacks, is Eli Manning really a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
No, but okay, without the Super Bowls, absolutely not.
No.
And the
Not
Super
without
Bowls,
the Super Bowls.
absolutely not. But
How much?
Guess what?
Does the
All
Hall-
these other guys didn't win.
That,
so.
that's something that's interesting. How much does the Hall of Fame committee value Super Bowl wins?
I think a lot.
Not enough. Okay,
You can,
but
well, I mean, it's like a guy like Dan Marino. It's like, how good was he? And he didn't win one. So it's,
very
But
good.
he was just very good.
you know, so it's like,
He was.
Top 5 ever.
Yeah.
argue he's top 3.
Yeah.
He could.
So
Yeah, like.
Bernie
he
Montana,
didn't win
Marino.
one. So it's a team sport. So when you get these quarterbacks that weren't on, I mean, like the Falcons had that great team for, you could say, like it was 2016, but like 2017 and 2015, they were good.
They had just a great roster.
Yeah.
And then Phillip Rivers, he never really had a great team.
No.
Like, no, he didn't have this. I mean, they had the
had
number one
weapons.
offense and the number one defense one year, and they didn't make the playoffs. But
He had weapons. I mean,
How do you?
there's not much more you
VJs.
can. Antonio Gates, obviously,
Yeah.
arguably
For most of
a
his career.
top 3 tight end.
Yeah.
but he never had a like. Besides, like he had a good defense, but he never had like for a long period of time like a very very good defense, which is something that hurts sometimes.
Yeah.
He's tough. He's just.
That's a really tough one.
He's just one of those guys that's just kind of just there. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it. Like, just the lack of.
I
playoff
think he'll
success
get
is
in
just-
though.
Yeah, he's just a guy you forget about, really.
Yeah.
He's going to be like
That's-
Matt Ryan in a few years, also.
That's true. But that's tough.
You just don't remember him for anything like
Yeah. What did he do?
his
Yeah.
kids, maybe.
Philip has very good stats though.
8 Pro Bowls, 2013 comeback players. of the
He has no
year.
all pro teams though. It's kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like when you're never the top 3 or 4 at your position, it's hard.
Yeah.
But with that, we're going to wrap her up. Thank you guys for tuning back for another week. And we'll see you all next time.